war behind the cross, what they never told you about Jesus' crucifixion. What if I told you Jesus didn't just die because Judas betrayed him, but because of an ancient war happening behind the scenes? One so intense, Satan himself got played? Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what the Bible and history point to. You've heard the Sunday school version of the cross, but today we're diving into the parts the church rarely talks about. Stay with me, because this is not your average Bible story. One, this was never just about people. Ephesians 6:12 says, "We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers." This means Judas wasn't the mastermind. Pilate wasn't in charge. Even the Pharisees were just pawns in a spiritual chess match. Behind every human action was a demonic push. Scholars like Dr. Michael Heiser say the spiritual realm was activated, swarming the events of Passion Week. This was a coordinated attack in the unseen. Satan knew Jesus had power, but didn't know the full plan. Spoiler, that ignorance cost him everything. 2. Judas was possessed. 2:29-3:30. Let's be honest, Judas gets roasted in sermons. But Luke 22:3 says, "Then Satan entered Judas." That's not poetry, that's possession. And guess what? Jesus knew. He told him, "What you do quickly." Why would he let Satan in the room? Because Jesus was playing 4D chess. He knew the only way to break death was to walk right into it. Stay tuned, because we're going to talk about how Satan thought he was winning when he was actually falling into a divine setup. 3. Jewish culture was a time bomb. Here's something churches skip. Jewish leaders were under Roman rule, and their temple system was in danger. Jesus? He was a threat, not just spiritually but politically, by flipping temple tables, healing on the Sabbath, and calling out hypocrisy. He was messing with their power structure. Scholar N.T. Wright says Jesus' crucifixion was as much a Jewish-Roman collision as it was spiritual. And the Pharisees? They were so obsessed with keeping tradition, they missed the Messiah. They weren't evil, they were blind, which is exactly what spiritual warfare looks like. Truth right in front of you, and still not seeing it. 4. Roman culture was brutal. Now enter the Romans. To them, crucifixion wasn't just execution. It was entertainment and warning. They made it public. Bloody slow. Jesus was flogged with a Roman flagrum, a whip with bone and metal that tore skin down to the muscle. Medical experts say he was likely in hypovolemic shock by the time he carried the cross. This wasn't just punishment, it was humiliation and psychological torture. But while Rome mocked him and Israel rejected him, heaven was setting up the biggest reversal in history. Keep watching, because the Garden of Gethsemane, that was where the real war almost broke him. 5. Gethsemane was ground zero. Jesus sweating blood in Gethsemane wasn't symbolism. It's a real medical condition called hematohydrosis, triggered by extreme stress. Why was he under such pressure? Because he wasn't just scared of death. He was staring into every sin, every evil, every curse, about to carry it all. And in that moment, Satan's forces pressed hard, trying to make him quit, tap out, choose comfort, but he didn't. He stood and said, "Not my will, but yours be done." That was the moment victory started. 6. Satan's ultimate mistake. Satan thought the cross was checkmate. He had the crowd yelling, "Crucify him." He had Rome doing the dirty work. He had Judas broken, Peter scattered. But 1 Corinthians 2:8 says, "If the rulers of this age had known, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory." The cross was a trap. Jesus let himself die so he could legally destroy death. Satan didn't kill Jesus. Jesus offered himself and walked into enemy territory to take back the keys. 7. Nature reacted. When Jesus died, the sky turned black. The earth shook. The temple curtain ripped in two. These weren't random. The darkness, symbol of divine judgment. The earthquake, nature reacting to its creator's death. The curtain, a symbol that the barrier between God and man was gone. Everything that blocked humanity was finished. But this story isn't over. If demons were working overtime to stop Jesus, what do you think they're doing right now to keep you from knowing the truth? The war didn't stop at the cross. It's still going on, around you, inside you. But the good news? Jesus didn't just die, he won. And that victory can be yours. Like and subscribe if you believe Jesus didn't just die for religion, but for you.